For over 10 years, my family believed we were just unlucky. Strange cars, hidden cameras, watching eyes. But last week in a foreign country, I finally saw the face of the man who's been following us since my childhood. And that's when I realized this was never random. I grew up in a quiet, picture-perfect suburban neighborhood. Tree-lined streets, identical mailboxes. The kind of place where nothing ever happens. Or at least that's what people like to believe. Our house had 3 floors. My bedroom window on the 2nd floor faced the street. My father's home office on the 3rd floor had the only other overlooking window. That same road. That detail matters more than I ever wanted it to. The first incident happened when I was still a kid, middle school age, maybe younger. I remember walking downstairs one weekend morning and hearing my parents whispering in the kitchen. My dad's voice was tense, clipped. He kept saying it happened again. They brushed me off when I asked questions. A few days later, my older brother told me the truth. My dad is a lawyer when deadlines pile up. He works late sometimes until sunrise. That night he was at his desk around midnight when he noticed a large SUV crawling down our street, not driving, crawling 5 miles an hour at most. At first he ignored it, then it came back. Same vehicle, same speed. Same silence this time. It stopped directly across from our house. My dad watched from his office window, waiting for a door to open, a figure to step out. Nothing happened. The engine stayed on. No movement, just a parked car idling in the dark. After a few minutes he went back to work. Glancing up occasionally, hours passed. No one ever exited the vehicle. Sometime around 2 a.m., exhausted, my dad fell asleep at his desk. When he woke up at 5:30, the SUV was still there, same position. Same angle, like it hadn't moved an inch. The car finally drove away just before sunrise. That should have been the end of it. A coincidence, someone sleeping in their car. That's what my parents told themselves. What they didn't tell me until years later was that this wasn't the first time. My dad had seen cars moving slowly, back and forth on our street. Late at night, it was just the first time. By the time I was 15, I convinced myself the past was just that. The past I was wrong. I used to stay up late, making music in my bedroom, headphones on, lights low. My desk sat directly in front of my street-facing window. That night, something flickered outside. At first, I thought it was a reflection from my screen until it happened again. Light moving. I leaned closer to the window and felt my stomach drop. 3 cars were rolling down the street in formation, moving unnaturally slow, one after another. No music, no talking. And then I saw it, flashlight beams sweeping across houses. Not headlights, flashlights. I froze as the beam slid over my neighbor's house, then shifted toward mine. Instinct kicked in. I dropped below the windowsill just as the light hit my room. The beam crawled across my ceiling, lingering, searching. 2 seconds felt like 2 hours. Then darkness when I slowly stood back up. The cars were already nearing the end of the street. They turned the corner and vanished. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, my parents took it seriously. Ring cameras went up, motion lights. Backyard surveillance. The official explanation was criminals casing houses. But something about it felt rehearsed. A year later, things escalated. A contractor doing yard work found something hidden deep in our bushes. A tiny camera no bigger than a car key. No memory card, no SIM battery. Long dead, it hadn't been placed to record. It had been placed to watch. The police couldn't do anything. No fingerprints, no leads. Then new neighbors moved in next door. Young couple, no kids. Massive house, and they watched us, always from the top floor. Always standing, always at strange hours. One night, while walking my dog, I saw them through their kitchen window, sitting with a third person. A bald man, muscular. Thick eyebrows, a face you don't forget. As soon as I noticed him, the woman closed the curtains. Not violently, deliberately. Years passed, life moved on. Then Paris happened. We were sitting in a bar laughing, relaxed, thousands of miles from home when I saw him. The same man, older now. Same face, same eyes. Sitting alone, watching. When our eyes met, everything clicked into place. He stood up without finishing his drink and walked out. I followed, he vanished. Days later, I saw him again, photographing us from across the street. That's when my parents finally believed me. And that's when I realized distance didn't matter. I went hiking to clear my head. Fog swallowed the trail. Then came the smells, perfume. Campfire, something familiar wrong. A flashlight appeared on a ridge with no trail. Whistling followed, and then the stone sculpture. A marker. I turned back. Footsteps charged toward me, then stopped inches away. Silence, watching, waiting. I made it home, but the watching didn't stop. Because this was never about my house or my family. It was about time, about patience. About waiting until I finally understood I was never alone. If someone is watching you long enough, eventually they don't need to hide anymore. And if this story felt familiar, maybe it's because they're watching you too. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe for true horror stories that don't end when the video does.